Welcome to the Degenerate Gamblers. I believe we're in week 12. Yeah, week 12. Seemed like it started yesterday, man. Seemed like kickoff started yesterday. We've gone 12 weeks with college football. It's been one of the best seasons that we've had in probably 10 years. Just a really good season, been fairly consistent. And we're banking is what we're doing. We're actually profiting. I think we've had out of 11 weeks, uh, two losing weeks, one being almost even, and we've had nine like unbelievable weeks. This past weekend, we banked a little bit, did okay. Let's talk about it. We started off this past weekend with one of the biggest games that we've had in a long time as far as money making. We like Georgia Tech as an underdog over Miami. Miami was undefeated. We like Tech not just to cover the 9.5, 10. We like Tech to actually win. What happened? What happened was Miami came out slow like they always do. Um, Came out, made some mistakes. Tech capitalized, got the lead. We've seen this before. We saw Miami do this against California. We see them consistently come back. Not this time. Georgia Tech, they had the quarterback, Haynes King. The kid was a beast. He made huge plays over and over. They held on. They won the game. We had them at plus 260. That is correct. So we had Georgia Tech right off the bat. And then we go into our other favorite school, Army. Army playing down at North Texas. A lot of questions because we did not know if this quarterback was going to play, how much. They announced he was going to play. Um, we weren't sure how healthy he was. He played well. The defense was unbelievable. They went down to North Texas where they went 16-3, but we had them on the money line. Our max bet of the weekend. We had one max bet of the weekend. It was Army money line, Indiana University money line, and they both hit. Indiana University didn't cover, didn't look great, but they're undefeated. They got the job done. I think it was the second time this year they didn't cover. They got the job done. What happens to Indiana University right now? What happens? They're undefeated. They have to play Ohio State. If they lose to Ohio State with one loss, do they get in the playoffs? Most of us would think, yeah, they should. This is what has me worried right now. You have a conference in this country with all the money, and that's the Southeastern Conference, with a athletic director, Sankey, Greg Sankey, who basically put this conference together, made it the beast that it is. And what happens with all these two-loss teams? Do they get in over in Indiana with one loss? That worries me. That worries me a lot. We're gonna have to wait and see. I'd love to see Indiana beat Ohio State. That would be beautiful. Can they? Yeah, sure they can. Will they? I don't know. I don't know. That's going to be a big game, but we have a lot of games coming up. We'll talk about Saturday. We had Colorado. We had them winning. They're still alive. Two losses. They have an outside shot to make these playoffs. They took care of business on Saturday. We had a three-team tease: Colorado, Tennessee, and Notre Dame. Notre Dame was one of our biggest plays of the weekend. I said I like Notre Dame to come out and win big. Notre Dame, this was beauty points. That's what this was. They went in and they played Florida State. We know how bad Florida State is. Their coach fired half the staff after the game. Uh, but Notre Dame went in and took care of business. They did. They smacked Florida State. They're in the playoff hunt. There's one team, in my opinion. They play Virginia this weekend. Virginia actually looked good, beat Pitt, but they play Virginia this weekend. They're going to be ready for Virginia. They have to win this game. There's one team. This is what we're waiting for in 2 weeks, guys. Army's got the week off. All right. This quarterback's got a chance to rest a little bit. Rest, get stronger. And then in 2 weeks at Yankee Stadium, it's on. It's on. Yankee Stadium. You have Notre Dame playing Army. Whoever wins that game, in my opinion, is getting in this 12-team playoffs. Whoever wins that game, whoever loses that game is out. Notre Dame's not getting in with two losses. Army's not getting in with one loss. That's going to be a good game. I see a big opportunity in that game. Look, if you like what you see or what you hear, hit the like button below. Follow Howie Dewey on YouTube. I'd love to have you join our Discord for 1 month, 24.99 a month. You can join for 1 month. If you don't like it, you can leave. But we're crushing. I think we went, what, 6 or 7 in college hoops yesterday. Um, but anyway, that's going to be the game at Yankee Stadium in 2 weeks, Notre Dame and Army. It's going to be an interesting line also. I like the fact Army has a week to prepare. You give these guys a week to prepare, Jeff Monken and these guys, this quarterback's healthy. Look, this quarterback is basically a fullback. He was recruited to play fullback at a lot of big 1A schools. Okay. He wanted to play quarterback. And you see this kid, he can do everything. He can run, he can pass, he can hit, he can block. I mean, the kid is a beast. It's good to see he's healthy. We had us worried there for a while. But look, they're back. They're back. Speaking of Army, look at Navy this weekend. They came back strong. Navy came back strong because like this kid has his finger fixed. He couldn't hold on to the ball for 2 weeks. I think I don't know if he lost his finger. They sewed it back on, but you could see that he was definitely having issues. And then this weekend we got into the late night slate. We had Boise. They did not cover. They held on. They didn't cover. Aston Genty doing his thing. Quarterback doing his thing. They squeaked by Nevada. I mean, they were up 14. Nevada scored 1. But BYU was the story. You want to talk about a team that held on, barely held on. We said last week that the line was shady. The line was too low. We knew something was up. And look, that's a rivalry, Utah and BYU, big rivalry. So BYU held on. They're undefeated. I believe they're one of what, 2 undefeated teams in the country, BYU and Indiana. That's it. That is it. BYU could very well run the table right now. Look, a lot of the teams in the Big 12, Iowa State, they're not getting in. No chance. But I look down right here and I look at this 12-team playoff, and there's going to be some changes. How does this one blows my mind too? You know, you got Penn State at 8-1. They have played nobody. They could have lost to USC, and they don't have anyone really left. So I don't know. I guess they're going to get in. Indiana, they lose to Ohio State. Were you going to screw them? You're going to keep them out and then put in Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee with 2 losses? Georgia's got Tennessee at home this weekend. Let's talk about Georgia quickly. Georgia was ranked, what, 3rd in the country last week and went down to Mississippi, got absolutely thrashed. Their defense didn't do anything. Carson Beck, this guy went from a Heisman candidate to, I don't know, a lot of teams he could play for. This guy doesn't make good decisions. He can't throw the ball. I don't like him. They want him out at Georgia. They want him out. I'm surprised they didn't pull this kid. They have to have a 2nd or 3rd string at University of Georgia that's better than this kid. But look, they got spanked on Saturday. They play Tennessee this. If they lose again, forget it. They should be out now. They shouldn't be in right now. But you look at that SEC right now. You got Texas 8-1. Going to be very tough to knock them out. You got Tennessee 8-1. There's 2. Alabama 7-2. Georgia 7-2. Mississippi 8-2. You got Texas A&M 7-2. Still in the hunt. 5 teams in the SEC, and it worries me because of the power that this conference has. That's what worries me a little bit. I mean, I don't think all these teams should get in. Oregon looks good. Boise, they just run the table. They're in. Boise's solid. Let's take a look at Miami. What happens there? Georgia Tech knocks them off. I don't think they can lose again. I don't think they can lose again. I think they probably need to run the table here. I mean, they dropped. They're ranked 12th right now. What about SMU? Only 1 loss. What happens if they run the table? They're probably in. Clemson 7-2. I don't see it. I don't see it. Really, you have to run the table here. Kansas State 7-2. Colorado 7-2. Both those teams got to run the table. So that's where we are right now, guys. That's where we are as far as college football. There's still a lot of possibilities, and there's some great games coming up. Let's start right off the bat with next week. Look, last week we went 4-0 against the spread in Maction. That's right, in the MAC. We went 4-0 last week. Um, this week, I love this time of year because I love the MAC. I love the MAC conference. And we start off again this week with these same teams. Tuesday and Wednesday. Look at all this action. You got Western Michigan, Bowling Green. Bowling Green, solid squad. -8.5 at home. We'll have to talk about that one. Then you got Central Michigan playing Toledo. Toledo at home, -14.5. That's shady. 14 and a hook. Makes me think dog right there. Makes me think Central Michigan can go in and possibly cover that. I can see Toledo winning by 2 TDs. Akron at Northern Illinois. Northern Illinois. I'm not going to say it. You guys are sick of me hearing saying this. Who beat Notre Dame? Beat Notre Dame early in the year. Yeah, we had them. We had them at plus what, 2,200. Northern Illinois is -15.5 against Akron. Akron's having a rough year, but it's Maction. You got to look at injuries. The injury report is huge when it comes to Maction because these teams aren't that deep. Not that deep. Kent State playing at Miami of Ohio. Look at this line, 30.5. 30.5. We know how good Kent State is. They are rough. They are rough. Eastern Michigan, Ohio. Ohio at home. -8.5. I will have a lead on that game 100%. And then we get to Thursday night. Thursday night, we only get it's a light night. You have Eastern Carolina at Tulsa. Tulsa plus 13.5. I've seen Eastern Carolina a ton of times this year. Not that good. Not that good. Not very deep. They turn the ball over. They make mistakes. I was at the Army game where Army could have beaten them by 50. Let's talk about that right now. If you look at Boise, if you look at Oregon, if you look at a lot of these schools, guys, look, we're gonna look at some of these lines this weekend. Ohio State. Ohio State's got some injuries, especially on the offensive line. A lot of these teams, when they get up 21, they don't care about the point spread anymore. You have to look at underdogs. You really do. You have to look at certain teams to get out quickly and then sit their starters. The other team scores 1 or 2 and backdoors you. That's what happens. We're seeing a lot more and more of it. Here's one. You got UCLA playing at Washington Friday night, 9 p.m. Washington's a 3.5 point favorite at home. UCLA has been playing pretty decent ball. They really have. They've been playing good ball. Washington hasn't. Washington got smacked this weekend. Didn't put up any kind of an effort. Then you got a lot of close spreads here. You got Houston going down to Arizona. Arizona's -2.5. That's a coin flip right there, baby. I like this one. Liberty Saturday at noon. Liberty goes to University of Massachusetts, who's played some team stuff. UMass is a 13.5 point dog at home. I'm going to look deeply into that game. Here's another thing, too. Look, if you want to make money betting college football, even more so betting college basketball, don't look for big games. Don't look for Michigan, Ohio State, Georgia, Tennessee. I got to bet that one. A lot of these games are not good games to bet. Some of the games that are great games to bet are small schools. I think we've killed it more with small schools this year than any other year. That's why I like MAC. I like MACtion, baby. Here's one right here. Louisiana Tech going to Western Kentucky. Western Kentucky's -13.5. They put the ball in the air. They put up points. That line already, 53.5. Louisiana Tech's going to have a hard time slowing them down. I'm already looking at the over-under on that game, 53.5. I would much rather bet a game like this and make some money than bet Texas, Arkansas. Although I do like that game. Texas, 3 in the country right now. Top of the SEC, going to Arkansas at home. Arkansas, not looking great lately, plus 13.5 at home. But they'll be up for that game. They will be up for that game. Texas will be sitting guys. They got guys they don't want to get hurt. That'll be an interesting game. Here's another one. Clemson going into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh played terrible on Saturday. Got beat by Virginia. Clemson goes in. They're minus 9.5. They know they can't lose. Pittsburgh coming off a horrible game, plus 9.5. Do they bounce back and cover that? Good possibility. Very good possibility. Here's one. Utah coming off that heartbreaking loss against BYU. They should have won that game. Had them pinned down to the half-yard line. They should have beaten BYU, and they have to go to Colorado. Colorado's minus 9.5. You might see a beat down that game. Colorado has to win. They're going to put the ball in the air. That over-under is only 47.5. So they're thinking Utah's D can slow them down. I don't know. Deion's got those kids playing. They're on a roll right now. They have a chance to get in. Here's one. Navy is a 6.5-point dog at home against Tulane. Guys, there's some opportunities this weekend. I see some opportunities this weekend. Michigan State going to Illinois minus 2.5. Boston College just beat Syracuse Saturday. Going to SMU. SMU's got to play well. Got to get there. I mean, they're 14. They're right there on the verge of getting it. If they can run the table, they're minus 16.5 at home. Virginia plus 22.5. Just beat Pitt. Played phenomenal Saturday. They go to Notre Dame. Notre Dame's minus 22.5. It's an interesting line right there. Can they keep up? I mean, can they keep up? I'd love to see them give them a great game, put a little physical beat down on Notre Dame, make it hard for them so that next week Notre Dame goes into Yankee Stadium to play Army. You already know who I'm betting that game. You can see right through these eyes, baby. You know who I'm betting. LSU, Florida, both took beatings this weekend, play each other Saturday at 3:30. Florida is a slight dog at home in the Swamp. Louisville, technically in it, number 22 in the country, go out to Stanford. They're minus 19.5. Penn State, another tough game. Look at their schedule. How are they in the top 5, top 10, top 5, whatever? Look at their schedule. They play Purdue this weekend, plus minus 28.5 at Purdue. Tennessee, Georgia. Georgia's a 9.5-point favorite. Let me tell you, I think Vegas is giving way too much credit to Georgia. 9.5 points, Tennessee. Tennessee, excuse me, probably has a better team. Then we got James Madison, who's a juggernaut, playing well, playing out to Old Dominion, 4.5, minus 4.5. Georgia Southern, top of their conference. At home against Troy State, minus 7.5. You got to take that down to 6.5. You got to take Georgia Southern. You got to take the Eagles at home in Statesboro, minus 6.5. I like it. I see some small parlay opportunities this weekend. I think we're going to make some money this weekend. If you think so, hit the like button below. Follow Howie Dewey on YouTube. Guys, join our Discord. Join for a month. We're having a blast on there. These guys are fun. We got guys all over the country. We have good guys on there. Missouri plays South Carolina. This one's big because Missouri technically is still in this thing with 2 losses in the SEC. Now they got to go to South Carolina, who just pounded Vanderbilt in Tennessee. They got to go to South Carolina. South Carolina's minus 13.5 at home. South Carolina's playing very good ball. Missouri could be in deep shit for that one. I don't know that quarterback situation yet either. Rutgers on the road at Maryland. Rutgers somehow put together a win against Minnesota this weekend. Shocked me because I had Minnesota. That was a game I lost. Now Rutgers goes to Maryland. Maryland's only 5.5-point favorites. I don't know. We will wait and see. Boise at San Jose State, who's not bad. Boise, a minus 13.5-point favorite. Here's another team. They get up 14. They get up 21. Boise State's going to rest people. They're going to rest people. They want people healthy. They want their guys healthy going to this playoff situation because they're probably going to make it. One of the lines that confuses me a little bit here, Saturday night, 7:30. Oregon, number 1 in the country, against Wisconsin. Not very good. Going to Wisconsin as a minus 14.5-point favorite. Shouldn't that line be 20 and a half? Only 14.5? That's shady. That smells. Smells like they want to sit people the whole game, play their second, third string. Oregon minus 14 and a half at Wisconsin. They better be careful. Can't slip up now, man. You got the number one all seed. You got to keep that seed. Get the bye, baby. Um, then you got a couple ACC games. Wake Forest against North Carolina. North Carolina's minus 10 and a half. They've actually been playing all right. One of the teams I like, and you gotta, I'm gonna say this right now. Whoever Duke plays in a bowl game, and because I don't think they'll have many guys sit out. Whoever Duke plays, you got to look at them. Duke's got a good defense. Duke's got a very good defense. That's one we have to watch going into bowl month. Kansas plays at BYU. This is really wild. Kansas at BYU Saturday night, 10:15. BYU is a minus 3.5 point favorite. I would have thought that line would be 7.5. It's minus 3.5. BYU ranked seventh in the country, undefeated, playing Kansas at home. I just don't see a letdown. I don't see any letdown spots for any of these teams. You're undefeated. BYU can't lose. They can't lose. They lose, they get knocked out of this whole entire thing. They got to be fired on all cylinders here. We got to check the injury report. That line should be higher. It's minus 3.5. They're playing at home Saturday night. So that's interesting. And of course, following weekend, the following weekend could be the best weekend of the year in college football. That's when Notre Dame plays Army, Yankee Stadium. You got Indiana playing at Ohio State, 5 against number 2. That's next weekend. Right now, Ohio State's an early 9.5 point favorite over Indiana. That's what I call lack of respect. There is no respect there. But listen, if you like what you heard, hit the like button below. Follow Howie Dewey on YouTube. We just started college hoops. I think yesterday we were 6 for 7 against the spread. Had 3 live bets winners. We're crushing college basketball. I put out the first vid last week. I'll be putting out another one tomorrow. I'm going to give you some futures. I have one future in college football that you cannot pass up. I've had UConn win the national championship the last 2 years in a row. We have one future in college basketball you just can't pass up. You have to sprinkle it because it's plus 1,500. Watch my college basketball video. It will be dropping tomorrow. Guys, if you like what you hear, hit the link below. Join us, Whop.com, the Degenerate Gamblers, $24.99. Join for 1 month. Just one month. Join. Get on there. Talk to us. We got guys with all kinds of ideas. We're tossing out teasers, parlays. It's a great crew of very knowledgeable guys. It's been a great year in college football. We're going to continue. I cannot wait for bowl season and playoff season. This could be the most exciting year ever. And college basketball just fired up, and we have all kinds of tournaments going in Thanksgiving. It's going to get crazy. And we're on fire in college basketball. Guys, thank you so much for listening. Hit the like button below. Join. Love you guys. Peace.